All right, guys. Bunzarelli Jr. is in the house. I got my son, Nick, with me. What's going on, Nick?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, and today we're going to talk about Fantastic Four. And as always, the following podcast contains spoilers.
This is the Bunzarelli Show.
So what'd you think about Fantastic Four?
It was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was awesome. I tell you, a lot of... when Marvel first came out, a lot of this stuff about, like, you know, they're kind of got to go through a lot of motions, like when they're putting the MCU together. So it's like, okay, here's Iron Man, here's his movie, here's Thor, let's explain him, let's explain Captain
Sure.
America. And they had this end game of bringing them all together. But this movie didn't feel like, and obviously it is heading towards places,
Right.
but it felt pretty self-contained. I mean, you didn't need to do a lot of homework going in. I love the intro. It was like the Fantastic Four already happened. They're here.
Yeah.
We're telling the story, but we're not going to make you watch all over again because this is actually the third iteration of the Fantastic Four.
Third.
Yeah, they did. Back in the day, it was, this is common knowledge, but just to re-explain it, was when Marvel was going bankrupt a long time ago.
Oh.
They decided to sell off their movie rights. So they had sold Spider-Man to Sony because Spider-Man was the big one. Mm-hmm. The other big one, which I got to get you watching, was X-Men. They sold X-Men and the Fantastic Four to Fox. Now, they didn't sell them the characters. They sold them the movie rights, meaning Marvel owned them, but Sony has the rights to any Spider-Man movies.
Right.
And then Fox had X-Men and Fantastic Four. Then what happened was when... all of a sudden, Marvel's like, wow, these movies are going bananas. Who do we got left? And they had the Avengers.
Right.
Now, Avengers in the comics was like the B-list. Like, they weren't as cool as they are now.
Sure.
They're cool now because of the movies, that the comics picked up popularity. But the thing is Avengers became so big and Marvel became this big machine. Now, Spider-Man, of course, Spider-Man was, they had their first run. And then they kind of dropped the ball in the third movie. They had their second run with Andrew Garfield, which I know you like him.
Yeah.
And then it kind of fell apart after the second movie. So they were kind of floundering on what to do to Spider-Man. So Marvel approached Sony and said, hey, we got a deal for you. We'll make your Spider-Man movies. Mm-hmm. You guys, Sony, you guys get the money. Like, we're going to write and produce the movies for you. You own it. But you have to let Spider-Man appear in Avengers movies. And now we have Spider-Man in the MCU. In the comics, all these characters are together, Marvel.
Right.
But the big deal now, which is what's coming, which Doomsday is going to bring together, is that Disney bought Fox.
Right.
So now,
and Marvel.
Oh, Disney bought Marvel a long time ago. Yeah, in the beginning, before Marvel started making those movies. But now Disney bought Fox. So we've been waiting for their Fantastic Four and their X-Men. Because you get all these guys together. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. But let's get back to Fantastic Four in general and start with them. But you've never had any experience with the Fantastic Four. So what did you think of them, like, in general, as a superhero movie?
It was really good. It was a very nice. What's the right word?
Kickoff?
Yeah.
Origin?
It was a very good. Very good start. That's probably the most important thing about the movies, the start.
Well, I felt like in a short period of time, you got to know the characters real well.
Yeah.
An important part of the Fantastic Four, unlike the Avengers, is the Fantastic Four is like a tightly knit family. I mean, it's Reed Richards, it's his wife,
Right.
It's her brother, his best friend. So to get the origin stuff out of the way and really focus on their dynamic with each other, I felt at the end of this movie, I really got to know these guys really well,
Right.
and their interactions with each other. I love the 1960s. They start you off, of course, saying, obviously, this is a different Earth.
Yeah.
It's not our normal, which I forget the exact number.
Well, in the Marvel universe, isn't really a normal Earth.
Well, the normal main timeline, which I don't have the number in front of me, or they have different. I think it's 616, but the normal main timeline that the Avengers are in is supposed to be like the regular,
the normal.
baseline. So, like when they had Spider-Man Far From Home, that was, okay, the idea is these other Spider-Men are in different timelines, different alternate realities, which they've been exploring with this multiverse stuff. The multiverse stuff's been getting a little messy. So what's going to happen, I think what Avengers Doomsday is going to do is bring all these guys together and do a nice little reset and kind of clean everything up and make it, because you can't have the Avengers have been around and the Fantastic Four just happened. So it's better if they come in from a different universe, especially with X-Men, because they're supposed to be mutants that are born with their powers.
Right.
So whatever's going to happen. What did you think of Galactus?
Oh, the villain?
Yeah.
I mean, he was okay. I feel like at the end when he gets sucked into the portal, he could have done way better because he was huge compared to that machine. Yeah. So even when he was falling in, he could have grabbed the iron bars and just broke it.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to break those. Well, there's an interesting history around Galactus is they tried to do him before. There was the original Fantastic Four movie. Mm-hmm. There was a sequel to. They had two from the first iteration. Sure. And it was called Rise of the Silver Surfer, and they actually had a Silver Surfer. The original Silver Surfer was a guy called Norrin Radd. They went with a female one in this one, which I actually liked better because I didn't make you too sucked in, because it's more like, okay, this is an alternate Silver Surfer, because they could revisit that character and bring in a different one once everything's incorporated into the MCU.
So then can we assume that the Fantastic Four movie that we saw is technically a different alternate universe?
Yes, it's in that. They made a point of telling you in the beginning. That's the Fantastic Four's universe.
Well, I'm saying the old trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a different universe to the new one?
That's what they'll go with. If they're going to do something where they bring everybody in to do cameos and guest appearances, it's going to be in this Secret Wars thing. Like, it's going to be Doomsday, and the sequel to Doomsday is Secret Wars. It's supposed to be all this interdimensional fighting. So then it's going to be cameo crazy, and people be clapping. But then they got to settle it down, because you can't just say, let's do whatever we want. You got to bring us back to a single. So this is kind of, I believe this is going to be the last hurrah for this multiverse stuff, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Also, I hope it's one of the last things, because a lot of Marvel movies lately, like ever since maybe Civil War, a lot of the main plot was this, like, according to audiences, just normal people living on Earth. Yeah. Superheroes suck.
No, so it's not. There's a fatigue. Oh, what do you mean? Like the
like
you're saying the people in that universe.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I thought you meant fans or anything.
Well, the citizens, like, not superheroes, just the citizens.
Oh, yeah. Well, that all changed after Infinity War, because they saved the whole Earth. So the heroes are, like, in favor now. Now, Spider-Man, not so much.
Yeah.
But that's kind of getting it all reset because of the end of Spider-Man with Brand New Day. Mm-hmm. But going back to Galactus, in the Rise of the Silver Surfer, what had happened was because Galactus is designed in like the 1960s, he basically had a pretty corny look, that big head and everything.
Right.
But that's his original look. And what they're finding out is fans don't care if it's corny. Fans like the original OG stuff. So in Silver Surfer, they just made Galactus like this ominous smoke cloud. And everybody's like, this is lame. We want to see the goofy guy with the head and the horns and everything. I had thought, because we had seen Thunderbolts. And
that was an awesome movie, too.
Thunderbolts was good. Thunderbolts was a good refresh for, okay, here's who's left, here's who's, whether they remain the new Avengers or not, at least like, okay, here's who's kind of in charge right now. And, of course, Sam Wilson's Captain America and how that's all going to come together if they're all going to join forces. But anyway, going from that was a good kind of standoff, lead off to what's going on in the standard MCU before this other stuff comes in. Right. I had thought that the after credit scene, which shows the Fantastic Four ship coming in, I had thought I had already predicted the end of the movie, because I had thought, okay, Galactus is going to destroy their world and they're going to have to come to ours. But then the more I thought of it watching the movie, for them to sacrifice the Earth for their son doesn't really make them, like, I can picture them doing it, but it's like kind of like a sad ending. It doesn't really make them heroes. Right. So I'm glad, like, the end of the movie was they saved their Earth.
Right.
I know you wanted to talk about Franklin Richards, the son.
Yeah.
You were pretty interested in him.
Yeah.
So in the comics, Franklin Richards is actually what you would consider a mutant. What the X-Men are. It just basically means someone who's born with their powers.
Sure.
Like Captain America, they had the super serum. Spider-Man got bit by the spider. But a mutant just means, which is kind of like an easy thing for them to do, because what it does is it says like, oh, he's a mutant. Here's his powers. You don't have to make an origin story.
Right.
But X-Men are popular as hell. But Franklin Richards is really powerful. Like he is,
Yeah.
I don't know the extent, but I know he's been in different X-Men stories where he he kind of got merged with Professor X, and they became like this big, powerful Onslaught character.
Sure.
But the fact at the end of the credits where they show Doctor Doom
Yeah.
encountering Franklin Richards. Now, the question is now Fantastic Four was way in production before they announced that Robert Downey Jr. was going to play Doctor Doom.
Right.
Or that the actual, the actual focus was going to be Avengers Doomsday, was going to be the big next Avengers movie. But because Doom is awesome. Doom is up there with Thanos and everything. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Robert Downey Jr. is playing him is awesome. Now, point being is when they shot that scene, I don't even know if they knew Robert Downey Jr. was going to be Doom. I think they were just like, Doom is coming. But since they decided to make this big epic adventure, I think the fact that Doctor Doom, I believe, just from putting the pieces together, is Doctor Doom's going to try to either conquer the multiverse or use it to his advantage. But for him to have Franklin Richards with him and to use his power like Galactus wanted to, that's the problem with Franklin Richards. He's so powerful, but he's a kid, so he could easily get taken or used.
Right.
But that's going to be some really interesting stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited about the way Doomsday is going. Mm-hmm. I like the Thunderbolts. Oh, here's some things I'm looking forward to. Hulk versus Thing.
Thing.
The Thing is a Ben Grimm, the Rocky creature.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, that's like a big deal in the comics. Like they fight each other a couple times because Hulk is obviously like the big strong beast, and Thing is like smarter. Mm-hmm. My problem with that is it can't be this smart Hulk. I'm over smart Hulk. I don't know if you are.
Well, you're right on that. I am over it, but
Yeah.
I still think at least in the beginning of the movie, Doomsday, Hulk was still going to be kind of a nerd.
Well, there's a question too about this because Hulk is supposed to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I like. Also, the Punisher. There were some people complaining because they were like, how come Spider-Man, they won't let Spider-Man, like the new Spider-Man, do a movie by himself?
Right.
Like the old Spider-Man did. But the point is, well, we've seen that. It kind of, you have Spider-Man and his girlfriend go through 3 movies and fight the bad guy of the day. I like mixing up Spider-Man with these different superheroes, especially Spider-Man and Hulk. That's a really good combo. But Crazy Hulk, well, what I'm hoping is in Spider-Man Brand New Day, they take that time, something happens to make Hulk go back to Crazy Hulk.
Sure.
Because Smart Hulk was fun, but it's just, he's boring. He's just a scientist. He's a big old scientist.
Well,
I want to see Hulk smashing tanks and throwing planes and getting out of control. And then when he's out of control, Ben Grimm, the Thing, has to go stop him. But watching those 2 big guys fight each other, that'd be a big scene. Like
Right.
that would be, audiences would lose their mind.
I think one thing that's probably going to happen for sure, they're going to end up becoming friends, probably.
Oh yeah, it's like
Because
everything else.
They're fighting against the same person.
Yeah, well, that happens in a lot of superhero movies. Guys fight each other. Even in the first Avengers, Thor and Captain America and Iron Man all fought each other for a minute. And it was awesome. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, hey, let's stop fighting. But just to have that fight is just cool.
Also, I wonder, since Robert Downey Jr. is playing the villain, is there gonna be anything referencing Iron Man?
That's a big mystery. So the big mystery is it just that this Doctor Doom just, like in this universe, same way like Spider-Man looks like 3 different people, Is it just a coincidence that he looks like Doctor Doom? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a universe maybe where Tony Stark maybe became the King of Lateria. The traditional Doctor Doom is a guy named Victor Von Doom. And he was like the main nemesis of the Fantastic Four. So it's good that he starts his origin there. What I'm hoping is the way Doomsday starts is that it starts on the Fantastic Four's world. Then they got to come to our world or something, or they follow Doctor Doom to our world, whatever it is. But I'm glad that it starts with the Fantastic Four because it's their villain. You can't just take that from them. Right. So the question is it an alternate version of Tony Stark, or is it just coincidence? But something that
I feel like they're gonna do something.
The Russo brothers said there's a reason behind it. There is some reason behind it. Because the question is, does he even take off the mask? But if he takes off, it's going to be cool to see like Peter Parker's reaction to seeing him without the mask.
Right.
You know, what effects that going to have on the guys that knew and loved Tony Stark?
Right.
That it's an evil version of him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to do something with Iron Man because anyone could have played Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
But they chose the Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's good that you know the villain, like Thanos. If you think about Infinity War, the real star was Thanos.
Right.
Because Josh Brolin did him so good.
Right.
He was such a, like his acting and the way the character, you were really like every time Thanos came on the screen, it was cool. That's the kind of bad guy you want.
Right.
And Robert Downey Jr., especially he worked with the Russo brothers, they know that so the Russo brothers started with Civil War. And they did, they started with Captain America Winter Soldier. Then they did Civil War. So when the original director for Avengers, his name escapes me right now, but when he left, they were like, we got to get these Civil War guys, because Civil War they showed they could work with a large ensemble of heroes, which is why they did such a good job with Infinity War. They were able to juggle a lot of things together. So they're really the best guys to tell this epic story.
Right.
And I'm really excited to see where Spider-Man's going to end up. I'm kind of glad Spider-Man's going to come out before Doomsday, which is nice because by the end of Spider-Man, we'll know exactly what's going on with him because it's called Brand New Day because he's got a fresh start. Nobody knows who he is. So how's that going to carry over? Yeah, but I'm definitely pretty psyched about it. Mm-hmm. So let's get back to Fantastic Four. I liked Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic. Usually that stretchy stuff looks a little like they did it as much as they could without looking silly.
Right.
Interesting fact. I know you're not a big Mandalorian guy. Pedro Pascal is the voice of the Mandalorian.
Oh, really?
And I wasn't even thinking about it until he put his space helmet on and he had that little bit of a radio thing. And it's straight up Mandalorian to me. He's like, I could bring you in cold or bring you in warm. But it was awesome. I was like, oh, yeah, there he is.
Right.
What do you think about the Human Torch?
Oh, the flame guy?
Yeah.
As a superhero, he's really good. But I think, like, when he's just acting normal, he's very... Like, I get he's supposed to be kind of almost like a wimp.
Not a wimp. He's just kind of cocky and arrogant. And
Right, but
just
I think they carried that too far. I think he's too much of that.
Well, he was going to sacrifice him at the end for I think his issues was he was trying to contribute, and Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, was so involved in himself, stuck in his own mind, he didn't realize his brother-in-law was almost pretty smart himself. The way he deciphered the Silver Surfer's language and everything, and actually went to confront the Silver Surfer head on. So he did have some heroics there.
Well, I'm not saying he's not smart. I'm just saying, like, his attitude.
Yeah, and that's kind of
the greatest.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of how his attitude is. Like, it's true to comics. He's the headstrong guy, like, that does dumb things. Like, Reed told him, "Don't burn up your suit. You're going to run out of oxygen." And of course, he burns up his suit and runs out of oxygen. Like, I knew that was coming. He's going to burn it up. I loved Mrs. Fantastic, Sue Storm.
Yeah.
I think she kind of was like the glue that held the whole group together, especially because Mr. Fantastic, it's almost like he's too smart. Like, he's tortured by how smart he is. because he's just looking at numbers and probabilities and stuff.
Right.
But really, the whole heart of the Fantastic Four is the dynamic between the four of them. So, like that
Right.
family structure, it's good that we got that solid and ready to go. Because unlike the other superhero teams, Fantastic Four only works together. They don't do solo movies or solo comics. They're a family. That's the whole point of the comic. Interesting trivia, but second issue of Spider-Man. I think the Fantastic Four were already out for a couple issues.
Oh, so Andrew Garfield?
No, issue of the comic book, not the movies. But the second issue, Spider-Man goes to like try to join the Fantastic Four, and then he goes, "Forget you losers, I'm out of here," and he leaves because he was like a cocky young kid and he thought he was cool. But yeah, they have a history together, so it's be nice to see the Fantastic Four with Spider-Man as well, and also the Human Torch and Spider-Man are really good pals, and I got a picture that Spider-Man and that Human Torch getting along good together. You know what I mean? Both young, brash guys. I think it'd be interesting to see that dynamic.
Yeah.
I did like the future 1960s look.
Yeah.
That was inspired by Jack Kirby, of course, because that comic book was made in the 60s. That was actually like the first Marvel family.
And a little funny thing I noticed, at the beginning of the movie when they're kind of introducing them,
Yeah.
there's a 7-Up ball falling.
Oh,
And they end up catching it, but I still think it's funny. Like they have flying cars and futuristic cities in the 1960s,
Yeah.
and yet the 7-Up logo stays the exact same.
was it the old logo or the new logo?
I think it was an old one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it had a very cool aesthetic to it in its own world.
Right.
So all right. So we know Fantastic Four saved the day, and then you get to the end of Thunderbolts, which I thought was the end of Fantastic Four. Obviously not. It's more of a pre-look into the future of what's
Right.
going to happen. So I think like I said, I think what's going to happen is the Doom thing is going to start with the Fantastic Four like it should, going to work its way into Thunderbolts, and then things are going to start happening.
Right. The only thing is, I feel like the end credit part, that for Fantastic Four and that for Thunderbolts,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Those two don't connect that well because
No, it's not going to be one moment from the other. It's just the old Marvel movies were like that. It doesn't mean it's going to happen exactly lining
Right.
up. You know what I'm saying? Like that spaceship coming down is going to be way in the Fantastic Four's future.
right,
But they must already know, like they had the script written that the Fantastic Four are going to come to Earth because Reed was already kind of exploring the ideas of the multiverse. He was saying things like parallel universes and stuff. So he's obviously thought of it. Now, if Doctor Doom's already explored it and is ahead of the game, Reed's going to be able to be put two and two together the same way he put together the porthole with Galactus and everything. Once Reed's got a little something to start with, he'll be right there. When he figures out how Doom's doing it, he's going to do it. So the question is, what brings him to the regular MCU universe? It's either they're following Doom there, or they kind of randomly escaped there. That's
Well, I think what it is Fantastic Four is going to go to, Marvel and New Marvel's universe because
Yeah.
they're in the same universe. So Fantastic Four is going to go to that world.
yes.
They're going to talk for a bit, and then someone from Thunderbolts is going to say, hey, we got to talk to the original guys. They know what to do because Thunderbolts pretty much just started out. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's good that they're established and we got somebody there because we had nothing there.
Sure.
So at least, it's just the Thunderbolts, but it's some kind of established team. So there's somebody to and then everybody else could come out of the woodwork, whether it be, Thor's still in the game. He's still alive. He's still out there. What else we got? We got Hulk still around. And, of course, Spider-Man.
Right.
And just those. Oh, and then when these X-Men come in, that's going to be a whole world of fun. So you and me are going to make sure we watch some X-Men movies.
Yeah.
But all in all, I'm excited about the way the future's looking for Marvel. And I'm excited about going to the movies again. And Nick, it's been great having you on the show.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And we'll see you guys.